Hi everybody, it's Deanna Nichols here, and I just want to share a word of encouragement with you if you've ever struggled with wondering why you don't get the respect or the attention or the recognition that you feel like you deserve. Whether it is a lot of us, I think, as moms or wives, sometimes feel like we don't get the respect and recognition that we deserve. And I have to tell you, your kids probably are not going to line up to give you an award for staying up late, giving them the last of your favorite food, washing their clothes over and over, and picking up their toys. And what if you feel like you're not recognized or respected in your work? Or recognized or respected in really any area of life. Let me tell you some things. I have really struggled with this. One of my top strengths is called significance. If you've never taken the Gallup Strength Finders test, then I really encourage you do that, because it has a huge impact on your emotional health and your productivity in life if you're focusing most of your time on the areas where you're actually naturally gifted. Hey, Carolyn. And so my number 2 strength is significance, and that has to do with wanting to be seen and heard and making a contribution in the world. And so for somebody like me, it's particularly painful when you feel that you've worked really hard to earn respect and recognition, and that you're not given that respect or recognition. And it can be very, very painful at times, and you can start to feel like maybe you're in the wrong place or you need to do something different. And I'm just going to share with you some things that I've discovered on this journey. Number 1, respect and recognition. If you don't feel like you're getting respect or recognition, it's time for some self-reflection. So the first thing that I would say is, are you giving respect and recognition to others? And that could be the rule of give more of what you want. And so if you feel like you're not getting that, then are you giving it? Because it's really sometimes easy to focus on what we want, but not what we're giving to others. And so that's just a moment of self-reflection. Now, you could be absolutely fantastic at giving respect and giving recognition to others and still not be getting it in the areas that you really feel like you're putting in your best efforts. And so I want to tell you something that I just had a recent epiphany. I have noticed that there are some folks in my life that, for whatever reason, seem very determined to knock me down a few pegs. And that's okay, because I've discovered that what other people think about me is really none of my business. And it is when they choose to be ugly or disrespectful, that really says something about them, not something about me. And so I can go ahead and let go of responsibility for other people's feelings and actions. If I am living the way that I think that God would want me to live, and a way that makes me feel pleased with myself and my behavior, and I can look in the mirror and lay my head on the pillow at night, and I don't feel bad for how I've treated others and how my behavior is, and I don't have anything to hide from others, then when other people behave badly, then that's on them. And I don't have to solve that. I don't have to change their opinion of me. That's up to them, and that's up to God. Okay, so you can just let that go and just take a breath and let go of that. The third thing is that recently, some folks that I really, really love and respect seemed like they really made a point to try to embarrass me publicly in front of my peers. And I was pretty hurt and upset by it. And I thought I could take a moment and I could really embarrass them back. And I could make a scene and just, call them out for their behavior. But you know what? Who would end up looking like the bad guy in that situation? So I just realized, again, I had to let go of that and remember, I am not doing this for them. Whatever it is that you're doing, you better know what your why is. And remember, so recently I was watching this movie called The Greatest Showman. If you haven't seen it, I really recommend it. It is so, so inspiring. And if you have seen the movie, it's about P.T. Barnum that created this famous circus. And in the beginning, he was just really miserable in his life, and he felt like he was meant for more. I really think he had the strength of significance. I really do. And so he wanted to marry a very wealthy girl, and her parents just kind of thought he was nobody and he would never amount to anything, and they tried to keep her from him. But she chose him anyway, and she was very satisfied with a very simple life, but he thought he was meant for more. And so he set out to do this circus. And he also found this band of people who really weren't super talented or super beautiful on the outside, and by the world standards, they really weren't anybody big or famous, or they didn't have a big network, they weren't wealthy, they didn't have high education levels, and a lot of them felt like they were sort of misfits and outcasts in the world. And he put those people together and gave them a stage to stand on. And people began to see them for who they were and see value in those people. And this circus became super, super famous all over the world. He was getting great accolades, but for some reason he got really stuck on a small group of people that still didn't respect him and still didn't like him, including a newspaper critic, and including his in-laws and some of the like wealthy, well-renowned people in his community. And he got so stuck on that he left behind his why and the people he was doing it for, and he started to get really distracted, and it brought a lot of disaster in his life. And at the end of the movie, when everything was crumbling around him, he almost lost his family, he lost his building that he was doing a circus in, and people were turning their backs on him because he had changed and he had forgotten who he was and why he was doing what he was doing. And at the end of the movie, he saw a picture of his family and he remembered why he started out to do this in the first place. He got caught up in all of the accolades and the bright lights and the recognition from people that he didn't even set out to please in the first place. And that really hit home for me. There's a song called From Now On that you can I think you can probably download it. You can look at the lyrics online. And it's very, very much hit home because I know that when I started my doTERRA business, the only thing I cared about was bringing hope to other people and making sure that they knew that there was hope for their health, hope for their life. And as God began to bring healing and health into my life, I wanted to pass that on and bring it to others. And I wanted to give him the glory for what he brought into my life. And then as I began to have financial success, I wanted other families to experience financial success. And I think somewhere along the way, it became more important to me that the company I represented really think well of me, and that the owners of the company thought well of me, and that everybody on my team really admired and respected and loved me. And the thing is that I'm not doing it for that. I love the company I represent, doTERRA Essential Oils. I think they have an amazing product. I love what they do in the world. I think we have some owners that just have some really high integrity, like Corey Lindley, David Sterling. Just as I've gotten to know them, I've been really impressed with their integrity and their love and respect for people. But the thing is I don't do this for them. I don't do this for doTERRA. I don't do this to be on a stage and have people applaud me, to be in a magazine, to be on TV, any of those things. I set out to do this because I wanted to change people's lives. And then as God entrusted me to tens of thousands of families to be a leader over them and to try to help and encourage them in their health and in their businesses, those people became my why too. And I love those folks. But you know what? Not all of them love and respect me. Not all of them give me recognition. Even the ones that I've helped the very, very most. But that's okay, because I know my why, I know who I am, I know what God called me to do, and I don't care if the only group of people that ever give me significance are my own family, my God, and a handful of people on my team who really love me and get me and know what I'm doing. And so I just want to encourage you to really think about the fact that, are the people that are being disrespectful and overlooking you, are they really the people you set out to please? And is that really your purpose? Maybe it's time to let go of it and just do it for you. Do it for God. Do it for the purpose you were called to here on this earth. And don't worry about the accolades. You know, God has a way of raising people up and showing people who somebody really is over time. I know there was a guy in the Bible named Joseph, and he got falsely accused of a lot of things. He got wrongly imprisoned. His own brothers sold him as a slave and told his parents that he died. And look what God did. God raised him up, and he actually allowed him to become the savior of his own people that had hurt him really, really deeply and tried to destroy his life. And at the end of his story, he said, you know, they meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. And so I just want to encourage you that as long as your heart's right and you're trying to serve others, then make sure that God is pleased with you, that you are pleased with you, that your family's pleased with you, like your immediate tight circle of family. Not all of your relatives are going to be pleased with you, I can tell you. And if you have nothing before God that you need to change or work on, there's always ways that you can grow. But if you're living in your strengths and you're living in your purpose and you're bringing glory to God, let go of the critics. There's always going to be critics. There's always going to be people that have their own crap, that, you know, maybe you make them feel threatened. Maybe you make them challenge something within themselves that they don't want to face. Maybe they don't like themselves very much, and it has nothing to do with you, so let go of it. Have a great day. I love you guys. Shine on.